It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, and let's have a look at Eastern Eyre football and, in particular, how our friends at Central Eyre United went in their first clash against the Eastern Rangers in a brand new competition. Jarrad Sampson is the president of the footy club, and he was there at Rudall last week, along with, well, shall I say, plenty of other people. They were coming from far and wide to watch this one. Jarrad, how are you, mate?
Good, mate. Yeah, good to be back. Haven't seen a crowd at a minor round game like that ever, I don't think. Very much a finals atmosphere on the side of the oval, that's for sure.
Now, we've got to talk about that to start with, because extraordinary scenes at Rudall. I've heard from a couple of people that have filled me in on the crowd number, that it was well over the 1,000 people mark. In fact, a lot of people are telling me that it was a crowd worthy of a grand final. You've played in some grand finals before. What did you make of it?
It was unreal, mate, to get there before the kids kicked off at 10 o'clock in the morning. There wasn't a spot around the oval. It's, unbelievable to see that. It's obviously not a lot of footy on in Lincoln, and Great Flinders might have drawn a few over, but yeah, great way to kick off the year, that's for sure.
All right, so Central Eyre United's first fixtures in Eastern Eyre football. You took on the Eastern Rangers, a tough ask at the best of times. They're a very good footy club. The club did get to sing the song in one grade, and we'll get to that in a minute. It wasn't in the junior colts, though. Despite that, you were pretty competitive in this game. The Eastern Rangers got up in the end 8-7-55 to 3-6-26, came home with a wet sail, did lots of scoring in the last quarter, but how did the kids go?
No, they had a crack, mate. Obviously, Eastern Rangers, strong club, got some quality juniors there. So, yeah, definitely a tough battle for the boys. But flipped a couple of players around sort of later in the game just to even the numbers up a bit. And it showed it was quite competitive, because just throwing a couple over between the two sides suddenly swung the advantage back the other way. So, yeah, it's obviously, yeah, while that boys had a loss, it's I don't think it really dented their spirits, mate. They're just happy to be back out there playing in a competition where it's evenly matched. So everyone's under 12s now and full side. So it was great to see them out there.
Exactly right. And the honour of the first goal kicker for the Central Eyre United Storm went to young Petty, I believe. He kicked a few of them, in fact, in that last quarter. Well, there you go. That name is a famous name for the old Woodney United club, and now it's a famous name for Central Eyre United.
Very well-known name, Petty name, mate. So, strong family ties with Woodney United, and good to see that trend's continuing with the new club.
Indeed. But the game where the Storm got to sing the song for the first time was the very next one, the Senior Colts. What a game of footy this was too. Right in it all the way deep into the last quarter, and the Central Eyre United Storm in the Senior Colts, 11-9-75 over the Eastern Rangers, 9-12-66. And they celebrated pretty well, the young lads, from all reports.
This was actually umpired this game. It was a red-hot game of footy. So a few of our boys actually go to school down in Cleves, so there was a bit of feeling in it. It's some pretty decent skills out there. And some big lads, that's for sure. Some of them definitely tarred over myself. But yeah, I think it was just cleanliness of skills at the end. Young Jack Petty, there's that name again. He's got some serious talent, mate. And, be very welcome to have him back from school more regularly, that's for sure.
He's a star. O'Brien booted 3 for you as well. Duncan, Petty, Ryan, and I think that's Tomney were named in your best. For the Eastern Rangers, Allen booted 3, and then they had Matters, Crittenden, and Schubert booted 2 each. Zed Crittenden, Turner, and Schubert named in their best. So, really good game of footy. Only 10 points in it at three-quarter time. You trailed at half-time by 5 points and got hold of them a little bit in the last quarter, booting a couple of goals to their couple of goals, but a really good second half from your boys.
Absolutely. It took them a while to find their feet. First quarter, a few new faces, a couple of lads had come up from Lincoln. So once they'd got to know each other and worked each other out, it all going together quite well as the game went on.
Yep. A couple of Stootleys up against each other in the Resi's game. We had the Eastern Rangers winning 9-11-65 to 3-5-23. And on the Eyre Peninsula, it doesn't matter where you go, you'll bump into a Stootley somewhere. And your Stootley was named in the best, and their Stootley was named the best.
Yeah, so, and then another brother plays for Kimber, mate. So the three boys will roll across each other a bit this year. So, but no, it's, yeah, B grade's had a crack, mate. I think common theme with B grade most years is obviously fitness. Might have found a few out, but at the same token, same thing. Good to be out there with numbers, not to have to rely on the kids to fill a side. So, but yeah, Eastern Rangers. I'm not sure if they're coming off the back of 5 B grade flags in a row or something like that. So they're definitely the measuring stick of the comp in the B grade, that's for sure. And yeah, some of the names they've got running around there. When you've got Parksy out there playing B grade and a few others, like she's a pretty talented side, mate. Let alone their A grade. So up against it, but yeah, they had a crack, mate. And as we get a few more back in, I think we'll see a shift in. Well, a lift in the competitiveness as the year goes on, hopefully.
No doubt about that, mate. And the A-grade clash, let's have a look at this now. And it was probably the second and final terms that, I guess, real second and third terms, sorry. You bookended the game pretty well in this one, but second and third terms, they got hold of you, the Eastern Rangers. The final scores in the end were 14-12-96 to Central United, 6-9-45. You're only a couple of points down at quarter time, and then you booted 3 goals apiece in the final term, but they got hold of you a bit just before and just after half time.
Yeah, definitely. They're they'll be the yardstick this year, I think. Plenty of talented on-ballers, fit young side. So yeah, it's definitely a good test to start the season off. Few outs for the weekend probably hurt us when we lose to Ruckman and a couple on ballers against a team like Rangers. It's going to be a hard slog. So yeah, while it's a loss to kick it off, definitely not disappointed about it. Plenty to learn there. It's going to take a few weeks for us to gel and sort of get to know each other a bit better as teammates and the way we play footy. But yeah, plenty of positives at the same token, mate. Not disappointed with that result. I think something to build on, and hopefully when we see him again in a month and a bit's time, we'll a few wins will be a much closer game than that. Fingers crossed. No
question about that, mate. The other A-grade match that we should talk about too before we move on to this round of matches coming, Kimber Districts, they went to Cow and they did the job there, 11-7-73 to Cow 5-5-35. Have you had any reports from this game? Obviously you were at Rudall, but what have you heard about how this one went?
No, it sounds like everyone's picked up some decent players this year, and yeah, it should be a pretty even comp. Obviously, what was that, 6 goals in it, but yeah, you add a couple of midfielders into that Cow mix from Saturday. I mean, Jack Burden would be a pretty handy in any side, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Let alone that one. So yeah, a few more runners into the Cow side, and yeah, she'll tighten up again. So yeah, it should be a good comp. Should be competitive across all 5 sides, hopefully.
I agree. And in this one, this is a strange game. There must have been some sort of breeze at Cow that was blowing, because if you have a look at the first and the third quarters, Cow actually didn't score in either quarter. And in those 2 quarters, Kimber kicked 9 of their 11 goals combined. So I think that tells you all you need to know. There wasn't much in it other than for those 2 bursts. So they are a team traditionally that play in bursts, Kimber. They'll kick goals in clumps. Fitzy booted 5, as we know. He's a star. The other Stootley booted 2. Sims booted 2 for Cow. But they will burst you in 10 minutes of footy. They can kill you, Kimber Districts. They're known for doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Much the same as Rangers, mate. You fall asleep for a few minutes and it hurts you pretty quick. So, yeah, not sure what the weather would have been like at Cow. Rudall, there was I wouldn't say a strong breeze, but there was a decent enough breeze there, but blowing across the ground. So imagine as you get close to the coast, it may have been a breeze issue looking at the way the scoring went.
Yeah. And in this week's round of matches, of course, the Storm have the week off, mate. You get to just make sure the kit gets here in time for round 3, but you got the bye, is that right?
Yeah, no, one on, then one off. So it's not too bad, mate. I think the body will appreciate it. It hasn't missed that Sunday soreness, but no, it might give us a chance to, because the games on Saturday, Sunday with the Anzac Day game. So give a chance to slip to a couple games and have a look at the other sides we haven't seen yet.
Well, it definitely a big advantage for you guys, and we'll have a look at that now, actually. The Saturday game is Kimber Districts and Ports at Kimber, and the Sunday game, as you said, the Anzac Day clash is the Eastern Rangers and Cow. That'll be at Cleve. But in Kimber on Saturday, Kimber Districts had a good win against Cow last week. Ports will be playing their first match, but gee whiz, haven't they got some impressive recruits this year, Ports?
They're I'm really interested to see how they go this year. Bobby coaching them. He's a monstrous man and he can play some footy too. So he's brought a few with him by the looks. So, it appears everyone's recruited quite well. So I'd be very interested to see this result. I don't know how many goals you put on Bobby on his own, let alone the guys he's brought with him. So, they'll be a tough team to beat, some size there. So, Sid Masters back as well, I think.
Very handy up front for them.
Fascinated to see the result of this if all their boys can stay fit and on the park.
I think Kimber might just get the job done, but there won't be much in it, I don't think. That should be a cracker of a game, that one. And then on Sunday, Eastern Rangers and Cow. We'd expect the Rangers to go in as favourites and probably win this, but Cow obviously weren't that far away from Kimber Districts last week. The game is at Cleve. There'll be a big crowd for it, the Anzac Day clash, and looking forward to it, mate.
Yeah, it's traditional game between Rangers and Cow on Anzac Day. So, I'll watch this with interest. We've got Cow the following week, so be interesting to see how they stack up against Rangers. You'd imagine Rangers would go in as the favourites to this, but again, it's a lot of unknown for myself in particular. Haven't really seen much of Cow at all. So, I might slip down there on Sunday and have a look just to see what it's all about.
All right. Well, we'll let you put your feet up, rest that body, and get ready for round 3. Jarrad, thanks for joining us again on the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, and all the best to the Storm in a couple of weeks' time. We'll talk then.
Cheers, mate. We'll catch you next week.